Peace, world, and welcome to a special conversation for the Sportster. My name is Adam Barnard. Thank you again for joining me again today. My guest is one of the most recognizable stars in AEW, making his big return last week on Dynamite. He's a former AEW International Champion, and this week, on the 6-year anniversary of AEW Dynamite, he's going to be challenging Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship. Orange Cassidy, sir, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What did you say what was your opening? That greeting you said?
Peace, world, and welcome to the
Yeah,
special
yeah, yeah.
conversation. Yeah.
I like it. That's
Thank you
nice.
very much. Thank you.
You're getting the whole world in there, which is good.
Listen, I was going to say, I mean, speaking with a former international champion as well, I know that one body of water wasn't enough. You needed all of them. So I figured if we're doing international, it would probably be best to just encompass it all in the intro. So I thought it worked out. It worked collectively. It was nice.
Yeah, I appreciate the research, the background checking of the international championship.
You got it. You got it, sir. Again, thank you for your time. This week marks a major milestone for AEW, 6 years. I want to know your thoughts on this milestone and what it's like for you to have been such a major part of its history.
It's going to be weird going back to Florida. We spent a year and a half or 2 years. I don't even remember at this point in Florida during the pandemic, and that could be, to me, Jacksonville and Daly's place is like, I think the first time I really, felt like I was wrestling weekly. That program with Chris Jericho, it defines some of my career, so I'm grateful for those moments, and it'll be nice to get back to give the Florida fans and the state of Florida who were there to support us during that time, give them show them what we have become, what we have blossomed into since those early days.
Now, you've had some pretty amazing moments and a lot of fun moments on Dynamite through the years. Is there one that stands out for you specifically as your favorite?
I love jumping out of stuff, and I love that there was a street fight, I think, between Pride and Powerful and the Young Bucks. And this was on a Dynamite, and they were fighting all around the arena, and I believe Santana threw Nick into the bathroom, and I was standing there, and then they left, and that was it. And that's like, it's going to sound weird, but that pretty much sums up Orange Cassidy. And I was glad that the world could see that, the television audience could see that. So that's probably my first and probably one of my most favorite moments, probably.
Well, I was going to say I wanted to bring up the one that is my favorite. Typically, I go back and watch it as often as I can. It's the moment when you have that epic battle with Sting outside the ring.
Yeah.
What was that putting that spot together like, and how much fun did you have with Sting during that moment?
I didn't tell Sting anything, and Sting just did it. So that's another person that we're very fortunate enough to have in our locker room. He made our locker room better. He was a great leader, and for him to play with me was an honor. And I didn't tell him to do anything. He was like, he's the one who did it. Blame him for that.
There's no blame. It's just all love because it was fantastic. But your character work, it can be very funny, but there's also this element of fire and passion that you put into what you do. And I think it's a testament to the dedication to your craft. You spoke before about wanting to invoke, a plethora of emotions from fans when they watch you work. How much do you credit AEW and maybe more specifically Tony Khan for helping you craft and present your character work in a way that's more artistic than maybe people realized?
I give Tony and AEW a lot of credit for trusting me. Why would they ever trust me? Why would they believe in? Why would they allow me to do something like that? I think it's really the fans' fault because they were very open and receptive before AEW, before Tony Khan really knew who I was,
right?
And they were reacting. So I think it allowed them to be like, all right, well, if they're reacting to it, he must know something that we don't, or we have. So I was very lucky that the fans were reacting to what I was doing. And then uh, it was at that moment, I think it was Tony saw me at Pro Wrestling Gorilla or something, and he was like, whatever. Tony saw it, and then he was like, he works, not worked, he still works very, very close with me uh, about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it.
Mhm.
And it's nice to have your boss understand what you're doing and facilitate it. Like
Yeah, see the vision overall, right?
you're
Yeah.
correct. And it's like, I could have got pigeonholed somewhere else. I could have been the same thing we see all the other time, but um, uh, I think he allowed me to do this stuff because he also knew that I wanted to wrestle too. So it's always nice.
Now you had your big return last week with an impressive showing with Mark Briscoe and Hologram against the Don Callis family. What was going through your mind during your return? I know I was very excited to see you back. The match was fantastic, but I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit about what you were thinking during that return.
It's hard to think about anything when you're hiding in a giant painting
Fair.
and you're about to pop out. And then when you actually do pop out of this painting and the fans are there to greet you, it feels very nice. And then, you're looking at giant men in the ring who want to beat you up. So then you just think about that. And then I get on the apron, I'm sitting next to Mark Briscoe, and I'm like, oh, everything will be okay. So, people always like, oh, yeah, were you? I just felt nothing. I felt like I'm in a painting. Why am I here? Oh, that's right. I asked for this. So, I don't really think about much of anything anymore.
Hey, listen, man, it's kind of the easiest way to be these days. Trust me. Now, you've had some pretty iconic entrance songs in AEW too, specifically. You're currently with "Where Is My Mind" by the Pixies, but you also had "Jane" by Jefferson Starship for a while. Do you have a preference between the two, or are you set pretty much on the Pixies right now?
I really don't. It's really just about how I'm feeling at the moment and what's going on. Because, I don't know. I have to be the most, I guess I'm the first. I don't know if I'm the first. I don't read or do research, but I have two copywritten actual songs that I could use back and forth, which is insane, unheard of. Like, why? Um, so I'm just grateful for any time they let me do it. Like,
Yeah.
I'll take whatever I can get.
Now you stepped in for Hologram, who we know is injured now, and you're going to be facing Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship this Wednesday on Dynamite. Now you faced Kyle Fletcher for the International Championship 2 years ago, and now we fast forward here, and you're challenging Fletcher again. What do you make of the changes in Kyle Fletcher's performance since that time when you faced him before?
Uh, what what I think of his performance? Well, I mean, people don't know. Like, I had a lot of international title defenses and all Atlantic, whatever you want to call it, same at
Mhm.
that time.
Yeah, right.
And I wrestled Kyle Fletcher on Dynamite before. I believe it was Double or Nothing when I was doing that blackjack battle royal thing.
Mhm.
And the idea was I was going to go to the blackjack thing and defend my title against 20 other people. I barely escaped the match with Kyle, and I don't think people got a chance to digest that or understand that. So at that time, that was like 2 years ago, where it was 2.5 years ago.
Mhm.
He was testing. You saw the great, like, I don't know. I felt the greatness in the ring, and I felt who he is today in that moment, and the fact that he's only gotten better. Uh, it, doesn't go well for me. I don't know. I don't know. He's turned into what we all thought he was going to turn into, which is probably the scariest thing ever.
Mhm. Now, the Death Riders, I know they've run roughshod over the AEW landscape for the last year, and you played a pretty pivotal role as one of the initial rivals for Jon Moxley. Was it tough for you to be injured through that entire year with that Death Rider storyline, knowing that you had plenty of business to come back to? And what do you make of them now?
I I don't really have plans. I don't really think too far ahead. I just live I live one day at a time. I guess whatever the phrase is.
Hmm.
I uh, I felt at that time when I was doing that stuff with Jon Moxley and the Death Riders, it was a time where there was no one really ready to step up and take them down. And I never wanted to be the person to do that. I never asked to, but what I did know I had to do was just uh, distract them a little bit until people were ready. And I tried to do it as long as I possibly could. And it was um, thankfully the moment was probably at my breaking point of I really can't do this anymore. Or I'm going to be out forever. People finally did start to the people that were going to do it came and helped. So I was able to get away from it. I took some time off, but then when I came back, I tried to get back into what I was doing before the Death Riders, and clearly, what happened with them paid their price on my body. The toll was paid, and I ended up, getting hurt in just a non-Death Rider match, which and I was, that's what I was trying to tell everybody. Like you don't feud with the Death Riders, you don't feud with Jon Moxley, and then you're just the same. There, you're just not. It's just you just never will be, and that's what I was trying to tell everybody. So, you know, I guess I was right.
You've had this really cool dynamic with the conglomeration as well. Tell me about that group and being a part of this entity and how much it's meant to you and how much fun you've had.
It's that we were all in some weird places at the time when conglomeration first came together. There's a lot of people that either lost their friends, were in a place of loneliness or whatever. And, we looked around and we were like, hey, you're feeling the same way I am. He's like, yeah, all right, well, we should hang out. And then we all started hanging out. And now we are all our own friends, and we're our new friends, and we're there for each other. And it's also kind of nice because the conglomeration is very lax.
Hmm.
So, we can hang out if we want, but no one really cares if you don't. You can do your own thing whenever you want. You can come back if you want. So we have it pretty sweet over in the conglomeration.
There's been lots of talk recently about the pillars of AEW, who is one and who qualifies. In the 6 years since we're coming up to this anniversary, where do you see yourself as a member of the AEW roster? And would you consider yourself a pillar leading into the future of AEW?
I don't know. I don't see myself as a pillar or whatever. That's like I think MJF, used that term pillar, and I don't think he really understood what it meant. But I'm just very grateful to be a part of AEW and to be a part of the history. And I do like that when you think of AEW, you have to at least think of me, and that feels very special.
So don't forget to tune in on tomorrow night to AEW Dynamite for their 6-year anniversary show. It's coming to you from the Hard Rock Live at the Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida, 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS, and it's also simulcast on HBO Max. Check your local listings for start times in your area. Orange Cassidy, I want to thank you for your time, sir. And as always, please have a freshly squeezed day.
I thank you so much, and thank you for remembering all that stuff so I didn't have to say it.
Oh, dude, that's what we do here. That's what we do at the Sportster, man. So
I
I'm
appreciate
helpful.
it.